Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm glad you chose to click on it. I'm Cyrus, and be sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell when you find value on this platform. Let's get into it. Every year there are a bunch of high-profile seminars and conferences that goes on around the world. Elsewhere, these are usually about individual businesses or individual business people meeting up and sharing ideas, cutting deals, and signing onto projects. Other times, it's about a president visiting another country on bilateral terms. But for some reason, ladies and gentlemen, you find similar seminars or whatever they are called being put together for not just an individual African leader, just one leader, no, but for all African leaders. I'm talking about summits where it kind of feels like all these heads of states are summoned to appear. The type which looks as though there is either an appearance fee or it's mandatory. The most recent significant gathering happened between African heads of states and Russian leadership in July of 2023 in St. Petersburg in Russia. 49 African countries were represented at the summit. 17 heads of states and 10 prime ministers attended in person. In the 2019 summit in Russia, 43 heads of states from Africa participated. If it's not about African heads of states being summoned to appear in some Western country, then it's about African business people being invited for one reason or the other. Meanwhile, we have very few of such summits happening among ourselves. We are in June of 2025. And from this time to the end of this year, there are a plethora of such meetings coming up. The Swiss African Business Day, which is in 2025, is scheduled for June 13th, 2025 in Geneva, Switzerland. This is an annual thing. There will be over 300 attendees according to their invite, which will include CEOs, investors, government officials, and entrepreneurs from both Switzerland and Africa. And it's a good thing. And I'm not against it. But listen, you know what they are actually going to be doing in that 2 days whilst they are there, ladies and gentlemen? They are simply going to explore new market opportunities in Africa. Nothing more, nothing less. How do I know this? It's simple. It's because I tried looking for African companies registered and operational in Switzerland, and I couldn't find one. Nothing. I found none. And how do I know this? It's simple. It's because I tried looking for African companies registered and operational in Switzerland, and I couldn't find any, apart from those that are actually connected with some white South African groups of companies. So basically, they put these summits or conferences together and invite our very best of the business class and leadership to the table to entice them on the best we have to offer them so they can explore those opportunities. Norway has theirs coming up in October this year. US-Africa Summit is also scheduled for this same month of June. China-Africa Summit was held on September 4th to 6th in 2024 in Beijing. 51 African heads of states with their assistants attended the summit. And it has been running for 25 years, ladies and gentlemen. It bothers me a lot, ladies and gentlemen, for this one reason. Do you know why these summits interest our leaders? It's because they cannot protect their own selves. They cannot protect their own sovereignties and their territories. This is why they are so interested in these summits. They cannot protect our seas, our borders, our airways. They cannot. They cannot protect the people who have voted them into office. So they look for protection from external sources. When pirates are attacking our shipments on the high seas, we don't have the means to fight back. In fact, we don't have any major shipping company from Africa, not one. Out of the 30 largest shipping lines in the world, Africa has 0 among them. From MSC Shipping, China Shipping, Maersk, Hapag-Lloyd, Evergreen, and all. Folks, there is not one major African shipping line. And only 4 African countries own submarines. Apart from South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, and Morocco, no other African country owns and operates a submarine. And so, how can we be protected, ladies and gentlemen. That's why these heads of states are constantly on the run to meet their Westerners. When mercenaries are coming at us, we don't have the technology to detect and the equipment to hold them off. When our cyberspace is under attack, we don't know what to do because our very internet cables are provided us by them. Our satellite feeds are managed by them. We don't have our own security systems, ladies and gentlemen. We are simply vulnerable. This is why they keep going to these summits. This is why they keep honoring these invitations. They go there looking weak, sorry, and needy. Tell me, in this modern day and age, which group of heads of state from anywhere in the world are dealt with like our African leaders? All because we don't invest in the right things. And the most disturbing part of all this is this one most ridiculous reason they run to such summits. Ladies and gentlemen, the saddest reason for which our leaders run for such summit is simply because they don't know what to do with our natural resources. They don't know what to do with them. The very resource that is in so much need around the world, which is abundant under our feet, is useless to our leaders. They don't know what to do with them. I'm serious. Take any natural mineral like cobalt, aluminium, gold, zinc, for instance. Our leaders know the value of their raw state. They know what they can be used for, but they don't have the industries to take them. And so it becomes meaningless to them without an off-taker, which is usually a Westerner. This is the core of our problem. We on our own haven't put any of these minerals to use since we discovered them. And therefore, when we find a country that's willing to take them, we gravitate towards them. What do we use our aluminium for? What do we use our copper for? The gold and the zinc. If the white man doesn't buy them, ladies and gentlemen, what will we do with them? The cocoa beans, the sugar canes, and the clay. We don't do anything with them without Westerners. In my own country, Ghana, for instance, until the Chinese came in some 10 years ago, we always had kaolin clay sitting here wasting away. Not government, not private businesses, nor any individual considered it for making tiles. We didn't have any industry like that. Today, Chinese companies are producing tiles in large quantities, selling to the local market and exporting the most of them. The same is happening with our limestone. So what do we do with our resources? What do our heads of state go there to do actually? They go there to borrow. Sometimes I hear certain figures, African countries borrow from the West, and I wonder, what's wrong with these people? Figures like $100 million, $500 million being mentioned around as though it were too much for us to make them on our own. You got to be kidding me. Is this too much for an African country to raise, ladies and gentlemen? We are a laughing stock of the world. Monies that sit in individual private bank account is what a whole country in Africa is chasing after. We are not creating wealth. That is our problem. We have no industries. We are just the supplier. If we don't find a buyer on the market, our goods are nothing but stones. Think about it seriously, ladies and gentlemen. In terms of security, does it even make sense to have all our heads of state under such roofs with one country? We need to get serious as a continent. What has happened with our AU and the AFCFTA? Are they only white elephants, ladies and gentlemen? The AFCFTA is the largest trade platform available on our continent, but usually found inactive. Shouldn't we be promoting it and working within these confines of the AFCFTA? We are really clueless when it comes to leadership. And that's why, in spite of all our raw materials, the vast majority of our people languish in poverty. Shouldn't we be promoting and working within its confines? We are really clueless when it comes to leadership. And that's why, in spite of all our raw minerals, the vast majority of our people continue to languish in poverty. This one too must change, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put some respect on ourselves and not allow ourselves to be belittled around the world. As I speak to you now, there are several of such summits coming, and one by one you find your favorite president eager to shake hands with these other presidents from other parts of the world. So funny. We keep pushing, ladies and gentlemen. We continue pushing this message until they hear it. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless you, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't done that already. It's bye-bye for now.